Those of you that follow me on social media probably know I picked up a laser cutter this last week. I'm super excited. I got a killer deal because, as you can see here, it was a bit of a mess. The guy did a fantastic upgrade on it and got the Light Objects controller and parts, but he never made a panel to hold it all, so it just looked like a mess. I think it scared a lot of people away. So let's hop into Fusion 360 and design a new panel. Luckily, I had the original panel. I could measure and make sure all the holes fit. So I started out just drawing a square the same dimensions as the original panel. And I've been watching these tutorials from Taylor Stein at Autodesk and John Saunders from NYC CNC. Check the description below for links to both of those. And you know, I learned a lot on how to design stuff, and I figured I'd try to implement it here and design my own part for laser cutting, and that's what I did. So I am doing things very differently now from how I used to. I used to just do things very visually because I used other tools, and in Fusion 360 I can actually dimension parts out and make sure that they're going to be correct. So I drew out just like the original one was designed and just got my base parts, the four holes that hold it into the case. And I took the original one and traced it, kind of slid it in there and traced around the opening for the panel so I could see how much of a gap I had, and that's when I drew in here. And I turned that into a construction line so that you know, hopefully it wouldn't cut or whatever. I'll come back to that later though, because it turned out that you have to delete your construction lines, or maybe there's something I don't know about because they went into my final version. So I had measured out the rest of the parts, the controller, the little meter that I have, and the power button, and then I went and I did a demo cut out of cardboard. And of course, first time it didn't work. Things didn't line up right, it wasn't the right size. But then I went back into Fusion 360, I readjusted things. Unfortunately, I had to recreate some of it. I think I had the controller designed backwards or something silly like that. My measurements were all way off. I don't know what happened between measuring stuff and then walking into the other room to design things, but I should know better. My measurements were way off. So I gave myself a little bit more slack around all my holes, redesigned a few parts, and then did another test cut. As you can see, I've had to adjust it a few times, but I finally have one that everything fits perfectly in, more or less. So I am going to run this on a sheet of acrylic, and hopefully then I'll have a new faceplate for everything to fit in. And wouldn't you know it, the acrylic fit perfectly. I wasn't really a fan of this sparkly acrylic, but this is a really, you know, utilitarian piece that's just going to be kind of in the background there. I figured I'd use it up so it wouldn't be sitting on my shelves. And there you have it. It just looks beautiful in place. The next things I got to do are some visual changes to it. I plan on shooting a lot of videos with this, and right now filming with it kind of sucks, mainly because of this orange panel and how dark it is in there. So I'm going to install lights in it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to replace this orange acrylic panel or not. I need to find out how protective that is and if I need a special replacement or what. I may just do a GoPro mount on the inside and film it that way. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a fun experiment. I do need to improve the exhaust somehow. I don't know if it needs to be sealed better around here or what. I did some more cutting on acrylic and that panel, and it just stunk up the whole house with the smell of burnt acrylic. Part of it could have also been that I left the backing on whenever I should have peeled it off first. But I do need to improve the exhaust a bit. Aside from that, though, it's ready to do my bidding and make some really cool stuff. So stay tuned. Got some exciting things on the way. See you later.